All right, fight fans, grab your popcorn and settle in, because we're about to dive into the heavyweight drama that's got everyone talking. Derek Chisora just pulled off the upset of the year, leaving Joyce's career hanging by a thread and sending shockwaves through the boxing world. The O2 Arena in London was the stage for this epic showdown, and boy, did it deliver. Chisora, the 40-year-old warhorse who many thought was past his prime, rolled back the years with a performance that had fans and fighters alike picking their jaws up off the floor and waxing lyrical about his performance. Now, everyone from Tyson Fury to Frank Warren, and even Joyce himself, is weighing in on this seismic shift in the heavyweight landscape. But before we get into their reactions, let's set the stage with what went down in that ring. Chisora, showing the heart of a lion and the cunning of a fox, outworked and outfoxed the younger Joyce over 10 grueling rounds. The judges' scorecards read 96-94, 96-94, and 97-92, all in favor of Del Boy. But the real story was written in the faces of both men, Chisora beaming with the pride of a warrior who defied the odds, and Joyce looking like he'd just seen his career flash before his eyes. The Gypsy King himself, Tyson Fury, was quick to heap praise on his old rival, calling Chisora a legend and acknowledging his massive impact on British boxing, stating, "God bless you, Derek Chisora, I salute you."
I salute you. You are the man. God bless you. All the best. Love you, brother. Good luck.
Frank Warren, who's seen it all in this sport, admitted he never saw this coming, saying, "There were times when they weren't missing each other. They were taking serious punishment, both of them." He went on to state, "For Derek, I thought the last 2 rounds are what sealed it for him. He got the knockdown and the way he came back at the end of the 10th when Joe caught up to him." According to Warren, Chisora needed the last 2 rounds because Joyce was coming on in the second half of the fight.
There was times when they just weren't missing each other, just taking serious punishment for both of them. And I think for Derek, it was the last 2 rounds that sealed it for him. I thought that knockdown and the way he come back at the end of the 10th, after Joe catching up with him a bit in the ninth, I think that's what got it over the line for him.
Frank, there were so many times, obviously Derek had a good spurt, but then he looked tired, was going back to the ropes. Joe just didn't seem to press the action on him.
No, sometimes a lot of the punches were going, a lot of the shots were going over the top, over his head. Whereas, you've been lifting some uppercuts, bringing them up inside, and neither of them really did that. But, who might have bloody sort of start picking it apart? It was just a phenomenal, unbelievable epic battle.
When I look at Joe's best wins, Dubois, Parker, his jab was very good in those fights. Didn't seem to get that going against Derek tonight.
It wasn't consistent, that's for sure. But, Derek started throwing those little, he'd sort of put 3 or 4 punches together. He'd sort of launch himself and let those shots go. And did well, but there was a couple of times in the fight I thought Derek was genuinely going to, he was going to be stopped. But he's got this tremendous resilience and inner strength that just propels him onwards.
Frank, considering the 2 brutal knockouts to Zhang, a loss to Derek tonight, getting put on the canvas, is that the end of the road for Joyce?
No, he's got to sit down and look and see where it is. I mean, look, we'll talk to him. I don't want to be after a night like after tonight. I don't want to be telling anybody what they should do. It's going to be their decision. Like I always say, the fighters are the first to know when they should turn it, but they're the last to admit it.
But of course, to get back in that big picture, it's going to be tough now for Joe.
Yeah, it is. But we didn't expect this type of fight. It's just an amazing fight. Amazing fight.
You lost for words?
Yeah, I am. I mean, because you sit there and it's sort of, it's so. I mean, the whole night it's been like, God knows what it's like with the fighters in the ring. I mean, it drained everybody here.
Joyce, to his credit, took the loss on the chin, figuratively and literally, saying, "Yeah, feeling pretty good. I'm not too dinged up. I feel pretty good, apart from being disappointed because I thought I'd win." But let's be real. Joyce's stock has taken a nosedive faster than a lead balloon.
A lot of times, and I thought, I could just force a stoppage, but then, ding ding, it's the end of the round, and then obviously that shot he caught me with, I think I was winning that round, so just disappointed. I thought it might swing my way, but it was a close fight, and credit to Chisora. It was a good fight, I enjoyed it, and hope the fans and people watching were entertained.
Let's go to those last 2 rounds where it did seem like Derek Chisora was running around the ring. It looked like he was maybe gassing. Did you feel like you was 1 or 2 punches away from stopping him?
Yeah, I thought I stood close to stopping him quite a few times, but he caught me that lucky shot on the way back from the ropes, and that's what really swung because I think I was winning that round, so it's just disappointing.
Were you shocked by anything Chisora was doing in there tonight?
Nah, he kind of does what he does. But yeah, it's annoying. But I mean, credit to him.
Obviously, there was a little bit of needle in the build-up. It was nothing major, but he's coming in now. You're sharing a nice Five Guys, and you are friends, really, aren't you? You have a lot of respect for each other.
At least I think it's Five Guys.
Yeah, actually, in the build-up, you said, "Can you trust it?" Gordon, you're going to trust that burger now, aren't you?
Yeah. I'll enjoy it.
Now let's get into the nitty-gritty of what the fans and pros are saying about this fight. One fan summed it up perfectly. It was more an exhibition fight than anything. Chisora was seriously done in 9, but somehow he managed to catch Joyce with a knockdown. Joyce was down, mostly because he was out of balance. If it was a 12-rounds fight, Derek would be done in 11. Joyce has stamina but should be prohibited from fighting. He does not protect his head at all. Another observer didn't pull any punches. Joyce needs to retire. He was a punching bag on legs last night. If he goes up against a top 10 HW who isn't 40 years old and has good stamina, he will get knocked out within a few rounds. Chisora, he can fight twice more, get to 50 matches, and then retire. He certainly exposed Joyce last night and earned the right to continue his career for a little longer. The sheer brutality of the fight had some fans wincing. One commented, he was desperately trying to knock him out in round 9 and 10 and got hit with so many hooks, just have shortened his lifespan by 30 years. Ouch. But it wasn't all doom and gloom for Joyce. Some fans admired his spirit, with one saying, "I admire Joe's spirit when you consider the significance of that loss, and he's still smiling." Chisora's performance, on the other hand, had fans singing his praises. I'm surprised about the huge heart of Chisora. The last rounds, Chisora was so tired of landing power punches that he barely stood on foot. He even knocked down Joyce. He was pure heart, gushed one impressed viewer. The contrast in styles was stark, with one fan humorously noting, "I imagine Joyce versus Chisora is what watching a fight that takes place underwater is like." Another chimed in, "Had a shift last night, so caught it later, literally had to watch it 10% sped up. It was so painfully slow." Joyce's lack of head movement became a running joke among fans. One quipped, "Joe Joyce has zero head movement, but Chisora says, that's okay, I'll move it for you." Another fan went even further. Joyce could pick a fight with a brick wall and still be the one with worse mobility. Chisora's transformation from controversial figure to beloved underdog was not lost on fans either. One commented, "Derek's transformation from kinda unlikable to Zen slugger who likes to feed people is great. Very cool guy." Another added, "Chisora is a stalwart of the HW division. He's fought everyone he can. Hardly the most likable personality, but he's a rarity in boxing today." The fight also sparked discussions about the future of both fighters. Some fans are already fantasy matchmaking, with one suggesting, "Now get us Chisora versus Wilder. I want to see Wilder get smashed one more time." Another chimed in, "Chisora versus Wilder end of year. Let Chisora send Wilder into full retirement, just like he's done to Joyce." But not everyone is convinced Chisora should continue, despite his own plans. After the fight, Chisora reiterated his intention to have 2 more bouts, aiming to reach a total of 50 fights before hanging up his gloves. However, this decision has sparked debate among fans. One seasoned observer wisely noted, "It's the old boxing ritual. He won't retire on a win, but will retire on a devastating KO loss. I wish boxers knew when to call it quits." This comment highlights the concern that Chisora, riding high on his upset victory, might be pushing his luck. The question now is whether Del Boy can defy the odds once again, or if he's tempting fate by extending his career. Joyce's future looks particularly uncertain. One fan summed it up bluntly. Joyce really went from being the only guy who could beat Tyson Fury to being the guy who lost to Derek Chisora in just a year and a half. Some fans, however, still see potential in Joyce. One optimistic supporter said, "Joyce beats Dubois and Jared Anderson by KO, but it's time to hang up." Another added, "Joyce looked like the next big thing at the early stage of his career, but I'm sure he will be back." The fight also reignited debates about weight advantages in boxing. One fan complained, "It really angers me how bigger, heavier boxers can use their weight as a weapon to tire out their opponents." The first 4 rounds, Joyce was pretty much throwing his weight on Chisora to tire him out so that he'd stand a chance in the later rounds. Surely this should not be allowed. It's meant to be a boxing match, not a wrestling match. But others were quick to point out, not when Chisora was initiating the clinches. Some fans saw the fight as a turning point for both men. One observed, "I see, so for you, Joyce would have still lost this fight without losing the Jang fights. I can't subscribe to that." Another added, "Was a closer contest than what it has been perceived as, but the fact it was close shows how far Joyce has fallen." Chisora's resume got a fresh look from fans, with one saying, "Chisora's resume is underrated, has fought some serious talent." Another fan put it more colorfully, "It is impossible not to like this guy. Not only is his boxing IQ and skill off the charts, but so is his charisma score LOL." The fight's impact on the heavyweight division wasn't lost on fans either. One commented, "People thought Joyce would beat AJ," while another added, "What a spectacular fall from grace for Joyce." Some fans saw parallels with other sports figures. One mused, "In my opinion, Usyk is one of the most honorable athletes ever." Other contenders, Edwin Moses, Frank Bruno, Peely, Allison Felix, that Man United school dinners guy. The fight's brutal nature had some fans concerned about the long-term health of both fighters. One fan noted, "Even those who thought they left on their own terms were not assured of a happy ever after life in retirement because CTE can manifest itself over time and only start to reveal itself years later, maybe in 5, 10, 15, or 25 years. But for now, the focus is on Chisora's incredible victory and what it means for the heavyweight division. As one fan put it, deserved. Moved faster at 40 and knocked him down on the back foot. Crazy." So, what's next for these two warriors? Will Chisora ride off into the sunset on this high note, or will he answer the calls for more big fights? And what about Joyce? Can he bounce back from this devastating loss, or is it time to hang up the gloves? One thing's for sure, this fight has got everyone talking, from the casual fan to the hardcore boxing addict. It's a reminder of why we love this sport, for its unpredictability, its drama, and its ability to produce moments that leave us all speechless. So, fight fans, what do you think? Is this the end of the road for Joyce? Has Chisora earned himself one last big payday? And who would you like to see these two face next? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more boxing content. Until next time, keep those hands up and chins down. This is The Sweet Science, and as Chisora just proved, it's anyone's game on any given night. Peace out!